propane. I usually recommend leave one open, leave the other one closed. That way when one goes empty, you at least have the other one.
Okay.
If you leave them both open, then it'll just drain both, and then you'll be totally out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Those will come out, right?
Yeah. So this just flips out, and that unlocks it, and then you just untwist this off, and it pulls right on out.
Mm-hmm.
These are just two straps basically to hold it in place so it doesn't.
So it doesn't jiggle around.
Yep.
Okay.
I do highly recommend that when you take these off, I like to use a flathead screwdriver.
Okay.
That way it doesn't come back and hit my thumb because it hurts like no other. So I just use a flathead screwdriver and just pop it open.
Okay.
So do we have to turn off the gas or anything to when we unhook that? No.
You can. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to have it open. I mean, it might at you real quick, but once that's over, it's not like it's going to keep
Okay.
spraying out or anything
All right.
like that.
Yeah.
And then around the front here, we're just going to make one whole lap around the unit. In the front here, a little bit more storage. You got your spare tire right in here, and then you have your two batteries right inside here. So this will be a 3/4 inch socket. If you ever need to get to that, I always recommend keeping a little tool bag. You know, nothing too crazy, but screwdrivers, you know, a couple
So
sockets.
I wonder if AAA would they come and
They would. They'd come and swap
that's
it
my
out.
speed.
Yeah, they'd come and swap it out. Now right up here is your main battery disconnect. So right now we have the power on. If you are ever storing this for long periods of time or you're not going to use it, just flip this switch to off.
Okay.
That way it's not draining your battery or anything like that. Now this unit does have solar on it, but the solar is really only to trickle charge the battery and keep it maintained. So if you have a bunch of rainy days, 5, 6, 7 days in a row where it's just raining outside, the solar's doing nothing for you.
Right.
So if you're just storing it, that's why I recommend to people just go ahead and cut that off, just to save the batteries from being drained. You know what I mean? Got these two light switches right here. There's LED orange amber lights on the front cap. That's what controls these. And then you have a little toggle light here for at night if you're in here messing with the storage compartment or whatnot. And then this is that other propane tank right inside there. Might be a little hard to see because right now they're not full. But right up top here is your regulator. You have a little black knob that twists side to side.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, we have this tank open right here, right? We want this pointing toward this tank. Once this one goes empty, we would close this one, flip this to the other side, and then you would go over to the other side and open the other tank. And then this would turn green. This turns green to let you know you have propane.
Right.
And that's why I recommend to usually leave one open, leave one closed. That way you never run out, you know.
Yeah.
Now right inside here you got a few things. Oh, that's cool. Not cool. That's cool. So I can't go over that, but I'll make sure that they get that in there.
What is that?
Well, that should be where the auto leveling system board goes. But clearly it was there. It's no longer there. But that plugs into it right there.
Right.
So we'll go over that once they fix that.
Huh.
Anyway, so on to the next thing, I guess. Got your solar controller right here, so that's basically what controls the current going from the panels to your battery. This is another disconnect. This specifically turns on the solar and turns off the solar. So, you know, if for whatever reason you were storing this in a barn and the solar wasn't going to do anything, I mean, you could flip it to off. It doesn't hurt anything to leave it on, to be honest with you. So that's just kind of one of those things. Now this other disconnect right here, you have 3 main disconnects on this unit. You have the one in that front compartment, which cuts off the main batteries to everything. This basically cuts off the charge from the solar panels. This will actually power this inverter. Or if you flipped it off, it would turn this inverter off. What this does is this takes 12-volt battery power and turns it into 110, so it'll power an outlet, like a wall outlet at your house. So there will be select outlets in this unit, kind of like the TV outlet.
How do you tell which ones are which?
They should have stickers on them.
Okay.
It should say an inverted outlet.
Okay.
If they don't have a sticker, then they won't work. But basically this will just power like your TVs and a couple of outlets, so that if you do go, let's say, out in the middle of the woods somewhere and do what they call boondocking, you would at least be able to plug in, watch some TV, charge your phone, you know, whatnot like that.
Refrigerator work like that too?
We'll have to check when we get in there. I don't want to tell you 100%
Yeah.
for sure. Sometimes not all the time though. But they've been putting 12-volt refrigerators in these. And actually, don't hold me to it, but I walked through it for like 30 seconds before I went and got you guys. I want to say that's a 12-volt refrigerator.
I think it is.
So yeah, that wouldn't even concern that, because that turns 12-volt into 110. So that's for like wall outlets at your house.
Right.
So we'll double check when we get in there, but I'm almost certain.
So the solar wouldn't run with the refrigerator?
Keep in mind that solar is a trickle charge. The refrigerator's pulling a lot more than a trickle.
Right. Okay.
So it will drain those batteries. Don't get me wrong, it will charge them at a slower rate because at least the solar is helping to charge those batteries. But if it's for an extended period of time, the solar can't keep up with it.
Understood.
Especially if there's ceiling lights on, water pump, things like that are also pulling 12-volt power. It'll drain it a little bit quicker. In here is going to be all of your water hookups. So they give you this little hose right here, which actually clicks in, and you can kind of rinse your feet off, hands, things like that if you get muddy or you're out four-wheeling or something. Little click button light for if you're doing this at night. Then you have your winterize hookup, which honestly, being down here in Florida, you'll probably never use it. It's for more like if you're storing the unit up north in the freezing cold.
Right.
Almost like coolant in a car, you know how it doesn't freeze.
Right.
They put the same thing in the water line so that they don't freeze.
Okay.
So essentially you would take a water hose, cut it, screw it in there, and then basically take the jug and put it in, and it would suck it in.
Gotcha.
In order for that to work, you would have to just flip this to on so that it would winterize, and then it would suck in the coolant, if you would, into the water line so it doesn't freeze. A lot of people like to just run their water dry, not have any water in the water lines, and that way it won't freeze. Everyone's different as to how they do theirs, but below here, then you have your city water hookup. So if you guys are going to like a campsite that has a water hookup, you can literally just take your water hose, bring it up through here. This actually spins right out so that you can run your water hose up, screw it in here, and then you'll basically use the pressure from the water hose for your faucets, showers, and things like that. So for this one, you won't have to have the water pump on because you'll be using the pressure from the water hose for everything else. Your tank flush right here, that's going to be your black tank. I just closed these two valves. This is your black and gray valves for dumping your waste water.
Okay.
But let's say you drain your black tank, you pull this open, it drains all out, but then you go inside and it still says that it's 1/3 full or it's 2/3 full. Something's probably just stuck on the probe, making it think that it's full. So you can actually screw a water hose right into here, turn that water hose on, and it sprays the sides of the tanks to kind of help rinse and clean that out. Hopefully get it to read empty. But whenever you're doing that, you want to keep in mind you want to leave this open, because if not, it's just going to fill that tank, and once that tank gets full, the only place for it to go is up through the toilet. So could be a bad day. This is where your satellite or TV will plug in from the campsite. So if you guys go somewhere, you can just run that coax right up into here, do a channel scan.
Have cable with with T-Mobile.
Yep.
So it goes anywhere we go. So that'll be good.
There you go.
We get our TV from that.
Easy enough. Yep. And then this right here, you could get a plug that plugs into this and charge separate accessories off the solar if you wanted to. A lot of people don't use that a whole lot, but you could if you needed to. You could even set up extra panels out here, plug them in to feed into that
Oh.
if you needed to.
I was watching that the other night on YouTube.
Yep. Right here is your water heater. I personally love these things. Some people don't. Oh, I'm so sorry. I
That's
didn't mean to
okay.
hit that toward
No,
you.
That's okay.
So there's good and there's bads to this. Some people like it, some people don't. It is only a gas-operated water heater, so it does not work off electric. That's where some people don't like it. Some people don't like gas. But it's instant. In 10 to 15 seconds from opening that hot water faucet, you're going to have hot water.
Oh.
So it's not one of those things where you have to wait for the tank to get hot for 30
But this has
minutes.
to stay on for that?
It shuts off the moment you turn the faucet off. The moment you turn the faucet on, it turns on.
Oh, okay.
So it's on all the time.
Yes, but no. Yes, but no. So this is off. Like right now, even though the switch is on right now, it's not technically running. If I were to go inside and flip a faucet on hot water, this would kick on and run. The moment you turn that faucet off, about 10 to 15 seconds after that, this thing pretty much totally shuts down.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes, I got it.
We'll go through it a little bit more inside. There's nothing that you guys have
Are
to
you going to
worry
be the
about.
one that comes to hook it up?
No.
No?
Sadly
It's going to be
not.
someone else.
Yeah.
Will it be
will
someone that works here?
No, more than likely not. It's more than likely going to be a third-party transport company that they hire on to just pick this thing up and go take it somewhere.
Okay.
But they know how to hook them up.
But they will hook everything up for it, right?
Yeah.
I'm a technician. I'm going to tell you the way it's going to work. A salesman will tell you the way that they think it's going to work. That transport driver is going to put it where you tell him to put it, and that is going to be about it. He might run the auto leveling system down, but I can almost guarantee he's not going to open the slides. He's not going to hook water up to it. He's probably
Right.
not going to plug it into shore power.
But I got Milton on
I-
speed dial.
I don't believe that they're going to go through all that because their job as a transport company is to just transport it.
Pretty much I understand.
Anything after that, if they open a slide and they break something inside the RV or they hit something outside by opening the slide, then it's on them. So why would they want to? They have enough liability in just transporting it from point A to point B. You know what I mean?
So this is the hose.
Correct. So
Black
this is where you would hook up your sewage hose, and both the black and the gray will come rushing out of that when you open those valves there.
Okay.
But my understanding has always been is that the transport drivers literally just drop it off. If he's saying that they're going to hook it up, I can neither confirm nor deny it because I don't know. I just work in a
So
shop, to be honest.
since this is since these levers are here, that kind of has blocks it in there. Do I need to put another one out here? Would it be a good idea?
I always
you know what I'm
recommend,
talking about?
I always recommend having two.
and then
like
and
the
have
ones out
the
here.
clear so
Yep.
you can see it.
Yep.
And then also I
personally-
noticed that they have a hose that goes in it that you can flush it back that way. Is that a
Yes.
good idea also?
I like those. I like both of those, to be honest with you. I like having an external valve out here with the clear so that you can see it. Because God forbid if one of those valves ever doesn't seal all the way or something like that, I mean, the last thing you want to do is pop that cap open and get crappy water all over your hands. So I always recommend the secondary valve. As far as the one that flushes it back up into it, I use that in the bay. When I'm flushing tanks, if it doesn't come with a black tank flush like this one does, I will use that flush and flush it back up in.
Right.
Either one works. Both work at the same time just as well. So yeah, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
And then really not a whole lot else on this side of the coach. On the back side over here is where your fresh tank fill is. So if you guys are ever going somewhere that doesn't have fresh water, you can actually come back here, just pop this open, and just stick your water hose in, and it'll gravity fill into the fresh tank. When it's full, it'll shoot back out at you, or the control board on the inside will tell you 1/3, 2/3, or 4.
Oh, okay.
But that's more or less like if you're going
How
somewhere
big
that
is that tank?
usually they're about 30 or 40 gallons.
Okay.
They're usually pretty decently sized. You can just about take all the water out of the fresh tank and fill a gray tank all the way up. They pretty much are about the same size usually. And then of course you have your ladder back here, 30 inch or 50 inch cord, excuse me. So this will be yours. And then it does come prepped for a backup camera if you guys ever wanted to install one. The wiring is up there to have it installed. Sadly though, it doesn't work on your phone. It comes with a little screen that you put on your dash and it kind of Bluetooth to it. And then if you ever did install it, just so you know, it only works when the running lights are on. So a lot of people, have their running lights on auto. So at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, if you wanted it to work, you just
This
have to
isn't
put
for hauling anything. This is just for like
a bike
put a
rack,
bike rack.
something small. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All
If it had like a 4 or 7 way attached to the bottom of it, I would say, okay, yeah, this thing can haul some heavy weight. But being that it doesn't, I would venture to say that's just more or less a bike rack, 250 to 300 pounds at the most. More than likely. And then you have a little bit more storage right back through there. This is another little outside shower, if you would.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
How did we miss that?
Just to kind of rinse your feet off.
You can take the shower out of it.
Shut up.
Believe it or not, I actually watched someone do that once.
Nuh-uh.
Kid you not. They bought a campsite, out in the middle of nowhere, woods, and they had something like this. And I kid you not, he put a piece of plywood up right here, put a piece of plywood up right here, and then put a curtain rod right across.
Yeah, if you're boondocking, I
Showered
guess.
outside.
I'll be there.
Whatever works, I guess.
Okay.
That is the cooktop range vent, so whenever you're cooking, all of the exhaust fumes and heat and everything will come out through that vent. You're probably going to wonder what this is right here. and I find it funny. This is the fresh tank overflow. So when that fresh tank is full, it's gonna pour water straight down.
Okay. I'm not sure why they put her on the side of the.
I mean, I get being on the other side than the fill, but I don't understand this high up. I can understand here. I can understand here. So if you ever see water pouring out of that, that's why the fresh tank's full. Got your cool little mini fridge right in here, so that's for all the beers and sodas and whatnot.
Yep.
And then this is the cooktop, so this just pulls out. And then you have your gas line, which is connected to this. This is actually just going to fold underneath here.
Are you going to have all that hooked up when you bring it out?
No.
Oh, there we are. And hide it from you. I'll let you take a look down there if you want. But that is where it would hook in. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little valve. There's a little handle, a little valve that you can spin.
Here, yeah.
See how now I have the valve hooked straight down, so that's going to feed gas. And notice that I can't unclick it now.
Right.
But once I close this valve,
Then I can.
now
okay.
I can unclick it and release it.
Got it.
And
Okay.
then this will just kind of fold back up in here, and then
So every time we open this up, if we want to use that, then we'll have to do that.
correct. Yep, you'd have to plug it into the gas.
Will the gas
right
be
there.
on all the time?
You said should it be?
Should it be? I mean, going down the road or anything?
Yeah.
No?
Not really.
And if it's off, do you have to light the pilot?
Yeah. So what I always recommend to people is like if you're staying in it and you're around it, full time, it should be fine to leave it open. If you're not going to be around it for extended periods of time, or you're going to just be letting it store, I always recommend to people just go ahead and shut it off. Propane, sadly, is an odorless gas, but they do add
Well,
a
the first
odor
thing,
to
one
it.
of the first things I'm going to buy is a couple of carbon monoxide
Detectors.
and the gas.
Yep. So there is already a carbon monoxide detector installed, but I always recommend have more.
Oh, I'm going to have one by the bed
Yep.
in the
Yep.
living room.
Yep. Luckily on your unit here, with the refrigerator being 12 volt inside, it's not one of those old electric/gas one type deals. Because a lot of people used to leave it running on gas while they were traveling down the road, so that the food would stay cold and things like that. But on this, it's straight battery power, which your truck would be charging the battery at the same time. So for you guys, I would probably travel with it off, because there really is no reason to use it while you're traveling. And then once you get to where you're going, before you turn on any other propane appliance, I always recommend to light the stove. Light the stove top first, and then let all the air get out of the lines, and then you can go and turn on your water heater. You can open up the hot faucet and let it run for a while.
So that refrigerator, would that be plugged in all the time?
Yeah, so this refrigerator will only work when you're plugged into shore power, because it's plugged into
shore
110.
power. Gotcha.
Yep. Anything plugged into a wall, you would have to be plugged into shore power for it to work, unless it has a little sticker on it like this one that says inverted outlet. So as long as that inverter in that compartment is turned on,
So if we're going
it
down
should
the
run that mini
road,
fridge.
we can keep stuff out here and then stop somewhere, put this up, and we can have a picnic right here.
Yep, you could.
I love that.
Because that's an inverted outlet. See, that's the difference. So like you see how this one has that sticker,
Right.
and that one doesn't.
Right.
So so that inverter in that front compartment would power this one, but it wouldn't power that one. So yes.
Cool.
So you could, on the side of the road, you could very easily just pop this open. I wasn't gonna close it up. More or less just stretching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any questions on the outside? I know we went through it fairly quickly.
This is a.
Take it out, plug it in, turn it. Yeah.
Yep.
Do it, it's going to turn it off. And
Correct.
So this is shore, as you called it.
Yep, that'll work off the shore power as well. And luckily, the awning arm is kind of far that way. A lot of them, you have to watch the front door.
Hey, is there a? There's not an outside TV jack, is there?
yeah, it's right there. You
Right
just
here.
said it.
Ah.
Right there.
So we can put a television right here.
Yeah, you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You did not hear him say that the first time?
I got a 42 inches set right
Yeah,
there.
we will.
Yeah, well. I I got a 70 inch. You need one? No, I'm just kidding.
I would love one, but
Well, I'll give you one for $300.
yeah, that's a deal.
It's a good deal.
That is a good
It's
deal.
only a year and a half.
I got a pool table that I'm wanting to sell.
Oh, I want one so bad.
$500.
My girlfriend won't
Yeah,
let me.
we can't put the pool table in here or the TV.
No, you can't.
So-
no.
But yeah,
We have
so
a bar we gotta get rid of.
Jesus.
well, I got a bar, but that's big money.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's cool. So this is solar, so we can watch TV on the side of the road then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you needed to.
Now what about this going up and down?
So, I guess I'll do it with her in here. So this just lifts right up. It just basically comes in here. Now you'll notice that this kind of swings.
Mhm.
It unlocks these.
Right.
So if you go over like this, it locks them in
So
place.
I
and then if
noticed
you unlock-
that these go longer and shorter too, right?
Yes. So,
Okay, because I seen that on YouTube last night.
Yes. So depending on the
Where you're
terrain-
at.
So basically, this pin pops up,
Oh,
and at that point, then you can
right, yeah.
adjust
That's cool.
and then just pop your pin back down. Yeah. So depending on the hardest part's just getting it back in the hole. And then this right here slides up. And it just slides down.
Cool beans.
Those are, yeah, that's the furnace covers. So whenever you're running the furnace, the hot air will come up to there, and then obviously AC will be through these top ducts here. Keys to the unit, the two purple keys are going to be for that entry door. Yep. And then the kind of grayish keys here are all the outside compartments. And then like that little outside shower right there, or where the fresh tank fill is, that little black door, that would be this little silver key.
Okay.
I like the way this lights up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Purple lights.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty neat.
Does this
I'm
have
sorry.
lights underneath it or anything?
It does have lights on it.
Yeah.
Oh
there you
yeah,
go.
that's gonna be nice watching
It
TV at
also,
night.
it also has a heating feature and a massage feature.
Heating and massage.
Yep.
So what do I do if I can't wake her up? She'll be gone.
I'll be out.
Great.
I needed that last night.
And it even has a little dimmer for the lights on the slide.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So you have an on-off switch, but you also have the dimmer next
and,
to it.
and being right on the lake, we're gonna have a beautiful
Oh,
view.
yeah, it's gonna be great. I wish I could show you everything, but being that this hasn't been through the shop yet, there's no propane in it.
Mhm.
But basically, just like a grill, you would just flip these to on,
Red.
and then just that one strike sparks the igniter.
Oh, I understand that.
Oh,
It's like an
okay.
LP.
So is this the same for the oven?
The oven is what I was going to get to. That's a little bit trickier, but same concept.
Okay.
The only difference with the oven is, and it's kind of hard, is so this one's for the oven. You're just going to press this in,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to line this flame up with this arrow.
Okay.
And you're going to continue to press in. And you're going to click, 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 and I swear it's going to feel like eternity. But it's probably going to be about 20 or 30 seconds.
Okay.
But basically, you're gonna look right down here. When you see the click, you can actually see the spark. But you're gonna click this until you see just the tiniest little blue flame.
Okay.
Once you see that tiny blue
pilot
flame, yep, you can let go and then adjust to where your temperature should be or where you want it, and then it'll light the entire thing.
Okay.
The oven is probably the trickiest part. The
Okay.
stovetop is pretty quick and easy. But anytime that you haven't had the gas on for a little while, I always recommend, light this stovetop first.
Right.
Because a lot of times you'll open that gas tank right there, and then you'll come over here and open this up, and you'll be clicking for 10 or 15 seconds, until it finally works all the air out of the lines, and then just goes to straight gas.
Okay.
And then at that point, once you get that going, pretty much all the other propane appliances should just about work right away.
Okay.
With the correct air to fuel
Mhm.
ratio. Fuse panel's gonna be right down here. So all your breakers are gonna be labeled, and then all your
wow.
fuses are gonna be labeled as well. If any of these fuses ever blow, you'll see a little red LED light next to it. So you won't have to go guessing and pulling 20 fuses out to
Great.
find one. All these lights up here are pretty much push button. You got
Are
one
those
fan.
lights on the solar? Or-
Those lights will work off the battery, which would then be in return charged by the solar. So yes, if you would.
all of these.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
all,
then, yeah.
Yep. All the lights, the slide rooms, the awning, all work off 12 volt. So pretty much and even your.
Oh, you were going to ask
refrigerator-
about or check on the
Yep.
refrigerator. Is it 12 volt?
Yep.
So this will be working while we're going down the road.
Correct. Yep. And you have some settings here. So off grid would be these two little buttons here. Basically, that's like an energy saving mode, so it doesn't drain the battery too quickly. But then the further you go this way, the colder it gets. And then if I flipped it back all the way to the left, it would be off.
Gotcha.
I love these refrigerators because they get cold very quickly. A lot of refrigerators, people say 8 to 24 hours.
Oh wow.
I mean, this has probably been plugged in for like an hour and it's freezing.
Look how deep that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
Alright.
Microwave?
Make sure. Yeah, microwave pretty.
Is it 12 volt?
No,
No.
this is 110.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
this
you
would
can
have
only
to-
use that when we're
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Now
here.
it doesn't have a heater for a furnace, right?
It does. Yep.
Oh, it does?
So that's what these square little inserts are there on the floor. You also have a fireplace. Which
Check
will,
that out.
Too cold.
it will give off electric heat, but it will only work whenever you're plugged into shore power. Because same thing.
Okay.
It has to be plugged into 110.
That's too.
Yeah, you can change the color of that flame. You can put a timer on it.
Oh, there is a mirror on that one.
I told you. Yeah. So in there the Bluetooth, right? Can you explain that? Where is that? It's over here.
Bottom.
It's over here on the left.
Bottom. Gotcha. Bluetooth?
I think so, isn't it?
It'll do Bluetooth. It's
So-
just like a car radio. So
Okay.
this is gonna have AM, FM. So really, the only difference with this radio between any other radio that you've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
is just Zone 1 and Zone 2. So you notice how these speakers just went off?
Yeah.
So Zone 1's your inside speakers.
Right.
Zone 2 is the outside.
Okay.
So other than that, it's basically a car radio.
So if we're listening to music at 2 o'clock in the morning, we need to make sure we're on the right zone.
Or you could have all of them playing and just crank it up.
Yeah.
But you have your presets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you press and held those just like a regular car radio, it would set the first preset at 91.1.
So I have a question for you. Is the TV hooked up to this?
No.
No. So
So you're not getting sent around.
so the only volume that we'll have for the television is the television.
Is yeah. Yep. Unless per se. Yeah, see, I don't see an HDMI on here. Unless there's a hookup for an HDMI on the back and you can somehow run and fish one through. but
Or
I
you could
don't
get a
think so.
sound bar, but probably not going to need it. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Then again, I've also seen some TVs where, like, I've seen them Bluetooth to this. So if you have a TV that's Bluetooth capable.
Well, here's what we usually do. We don't even we have internet, but we don't have like a cable television. So I get whatever I want on here. I throw it up to the TV. That's a smart TV, right?
Yep.
So if I hook the Bluetooth into the smart TV, then it's probably going to come out over that.
Theoretically,
I would think
that
so.
would be my thought.
Because it's Bluetooth, I can hook the phone up to this, and it'll come out over there. Is it like an auto auxiliary? Is that what it is?
So, let's see. So this is your Bluetooth button. So if
Right.
you press and held that, you'd be able to connect it to your phone, or depending on the TV, it may be able to connect to the TV.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so like right there, and then you also have auxiliary, headphone, or USB. So this button right here is changing the input. So that's AVN, that's the auxiliary, and now we're back to AM/FM.
If there's an auxiliary input,
Right there.
then I could run that to the television,
Good.
but I won't need to if I do it the other way. Cool.
No. Yeah.
What's that right over there?
That is your CO2 detector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it come out across the sound, or is it just that? It's just going to make a noise there.
Oh, it'll beep like crazy. I actually highly recommend, if you're one of those people that like to clean your house like a lot, any type of sprays, aerosols.
Is it on all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You
Be
just-
careful.
Yeah, you want to kind of keep it away from it because if it hits on the sensor, it will drive you crazy. I can't tell you how many of those I've seen people.
What's
take
that
them off
switch
the
over there?
wire.
I bet you already told us.
Oh no, you're good. So that is the ceiling lights, basically.
Oh,
Even
that's
though
great.
on the control panel right there in the hallway, you can turn these lights on and off. So they just give you an extra switch on the wall that, in case you're being lazy and didn't want to walk all the way over there, just turn the lights off and
They
go.
should
and
have
sit
it by
down.
the recliner, right?
I mean, that would be that's where I would want it. That way I don't have to get up and I can just fall asleep right there at the recliner.
Yeah.
Fire extinguisher is going to be right here. Smoke alarm is going to be up here. This little switch right here is what they call battery heat. So batteries obviously don't like super cold weather, but they don't like super hot either. So this unit has basically a package for, I shouldn't even call it a package if you would. They do call it a package, like a winter package almost. Like if you were going up to states where, like New York or Canada, where it's freezing cold, you could flip this on and basically it's a heating blanket almost that's around the batteries, and it kind of turns on and helps keep them warm so that they don't freeze or damage the battery type deal. This little screen right here is going to control pretty much everything on this RV. Password at the moment is 0000, if I hit that enough. So right down here you have your battery voltage, water pump, and interior lights. So right now if I hit that, you see that trim kind of went away. The water pump is now off. If I hit that again, the water pump's on. So if I hit the interior lights, that'll turn off your ceiling lights there, and then that'll turn them back on. Up here you have your fresh tank, black tank, gray tank 1, and gray tank 2. Don't let it confuse you, you only have one black and one gray. They just use the same control board for 20 different RVs. So as you start to fill your black or your gray tank, you'll start to see this going up. Kind of like this fresh tank here, we have about 2/3 in it right now just to kind of show you that things work. If you come down here to HVAC, this is going to have your front AC. So right now we're on cool. The fan is set on auto. If I hit this one other time, it'll go to off. Hit this one more. Now it's on fan. So it'll just run the fan, no compressor, no cold air, nothing like that. If I hit it again, it'll go back to cool. Right now it's set at 71 degrees and it's 72 in that bedroom. So if I flipped it down even lower, now it'll kick that AC on. And this is just your front AC. If I went over here to this, now this is the rear AC. So we have it set on 72, 70 now. It's 77 in the room. It measures the temperature off this little sensor right here. And we're on cool. So if I hit that one more time, notice how this one has your heat feature. So this is actually your gas furnace. So that'll only work as long as you have your propane on and it's full or whatnot.
Right.
And then of course you can set it to 80, 90 degrees and have it do its thing. If you hit that one more time, you have auto, and you'll see it where it's orange and blue. So basically I could set this to 75 degrees, and if it gets below 75, it'll kick the furnace on. If it gets above 75, it'll kick the AC
I don't
on.
think we'll need that.
Never know.
Yeah. So it's my understanding that you can get an app that will control all this too.
You can get all this stuff on an app. Yeah, you can get every bit
Where
of
do
it.
we do
So
that?
you can Bluetooth to this thing. So
Oh,
like right
okay.
there, you can actually pair your phone to it, connect your phone
And then
to
it'll
it.
come up on the phone. That screen will.
Mhm.
Well, that's downtown.
And then you can set up Wi-Fi to this thing.
I have T-Mobile, and I'm going to hook it in. Can I just set that somewhere, and then I get the Wi-Fi from each thing, or can I put it in this? And
You would have to connect this to your Wi-Fi, so to
Right.
your little router or whatnot, and then you'd have to connect everything else to the little router or Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
lose
Please
that.
hold on to that. Yes, that is important. Throw that in a cabinet or a drawer or somewhere it's not going to get lost. Yeah,
yeah, put it in.
that's important.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you can change the passcode on this thing. The only thing I recommend you not touch in the settings
Mhm.
is the floor plan.
Okay.
Yeah, don't even forget that that's even there. Just don't ever touch it, because you could actually, believe it or not, I could go into that and I could pick a totally different floor plan for a totally different unit.
Why would anybody do that?
You wouldn't need to. I always just tell people just don't mess
touch
with
it.
it.
Touch it,
Yeah, because next thing you know, you'll turn this on and you'll see 5 different slide rooms, and you're like, but I only have 3 slide rooms.
So I noticed there's a light here for the stairs. Is that just
Motion sensed.
oh, so
More or less for
so
like
it's
at
motion
night.
censored. All right, great.
And so you have your, so when you go to, so if you go all the way back home, right, you have that HVAC here, which controls the front and rear ACs.
Uh-huh.
If you go to lights, you have your bedroom lights, so you can actually turn your bedroom lights on and off from in here. You have your ceiling lights. So see, there's like 3
So I
different
can
places.
do that from the phone too.
Yeah, you could turn your ceiling lights on from like 4 or 5 different places. You could do it from right here. You could do it from right here. You could do it from that switch on the wall. So yeah, I mean you could pick and choose. You could mess with each other if you wanted to. You could be over there turning it off, and he
You
could be
know,
over
I
here
had those
turning it
little
on.
light bulbs, and I had some at the house, and I was going on the road, going across the mountains in Kentucky, and I was turning on the light off and off, and where she was sitting in the living room.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I
technology.
So I don't know if you know, I have one of those little Amazon Alexas at the house. Well, I was supposed to be taking care of my best friend's dogs, and I had left for work that morning and forgot. Well, I got to work and remembered. And so I was trying to call my girlfriend, like, hey, can you get up and go let my friend's dogs out? She wasn't answering. Well, I knew the Alexa was in the bedroom, so I downloaded the Alexa app, and you can actually talk through the app into the Alexa. Well, I tried it, and it didn't work. And then I saw the trumpet icon. Yeah, I got a very nasty phone call after that. It woke her up pretty quickly. And then this last is just the awning lights. So that's going to be the LED strip along the outside.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which actually, I'll go ahead and open that a little bit for you so you guys can see it.
You can do that right there, huh?
Yep. If you don't mind, just let me know if I'm going to hit anything. I don't think
I don't see it. So that will go out far enough that it can cover you if you're cooking out there.
Correct. Yep. So it'll come all the way out until you see a fabric flap, probably about 6 inches of fabric
Oh, yeah.
kind of flap down.
Yeah.
Or you'll notice when the metal tube starts to show, you'll see it.
No,
come out of
yeah.
fabric.
You don't need it that far out.
But yet, you control that right here. So you have your HVAC, which is your ACs. Then you have your lights, and then this is slides and awning. So if I click on that, you have your wardrobe slide, which is the one for the bedroom in here. Your sofa or dinette slide. So if I pressed in, that would actually bring the room in.
Oh my god.
Or if I pressed out, it would bring the room out. And then same thing with what they call the entertainment slide, if you would. That's the TV slide.
So is there a certain amount that you have to push, or does it just go out and then it stops?
It goes out and then it stops. So pretty much once it stops,
So you
just
don't
let
have
go.
to. You don't have to hold it.
So you have to hold it. So basically, like where I stop it. So like if I go in, it stops as soon as I stop.
But you wouldn't want to do that. You'd want it all the way out.
Right. Yeah. You want it either all the way out
Snug and
or all the
then
way
you're
in.
in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you kind of saw the lights kind of dim there a little bit. That's pretty much how you know it's fully extended.
Oh, okay.
And so you have those 3 slides, and you have your awning here. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that back in so that we don't mess that up. The what? I'm sorry.
Jacks.
Jacks. Yes. So
Gonna get that fixed.
yeah. That's the only thing I can say to that. I mean, I don't know what
Oh,
else
so
to say.
they're outside. That's,
We're actually
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
We're having it delivered on the 5th of April, so it should be okay. Eh?
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Okay.
So you remember when we were outside in that
Yeah.
compartment over there, and there was like that square
Yeah.
hole cut out? That's where the auto leveling pad for the jack should have been.
So you just put your blocks down.
So
and
I can't
push
really
it.
go over that, being that it's not there.
Right.
But we will obviously fix that and get that.
Right.
fixed.
And then real quick, I had a question on. There's a cover for this, right?
Typically.
I think he said that there was.
Yeah.
He's gonna get us
Milton
a
said he's
cover
gonna get
for
you
it.
one.
And what else was there? There was.
Well, I see all the trim.
Yeah.
I see the
Yeah,
Boeing,
yeah, that.
Boeing
You
faces
can take
there.
care of that.
You definitely don't have to point those out. That's hitting me in the face.
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah.
Oh, and the
So there's-
door and the
Oh, there's a shower doors
The
not
shower
there.
doors was. There
Yeah.
was.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, you're dead serious.
we're gonna need that, eh? Did he say take care of all that? You wanna get up here with you?
I do apologize, guys.
No, it's
No.
okay.
I
I don't know. Because we were looking at it, I'm like, wait, whoa, there's no door.
But you know what? We're getting a deal and a half on this, I think.
Are you?
Well, with all the
This is a 23.
Yeah.
They're trying to get them out.
Yeah, I know they are.
They're putting deals out on these things, and yeah. Makes sense. Well, I don't blame you though. I mean, like honestly, I liked the 23 floor plans, and I mean, if I could get a good deal myself, I might.
Mhm.
You know, you didn't stop.
No, and then yeah. Well, that goes right to the outside, but that's the inside. Of it.
Yeah, the front compartment type deal.
So this,
hmm
what should we know about it?
So you have a foot pedal down here, right? So if I lightly press down, I mean very lightly press down, it will start to fill the bowl up,
Okay.
right? If you press all the way down, it opens that up to flush. So you know, obviously that's about where it's going to stop. And
Right.
in my opinion, that ain't enough to hardly do anything. So you're more than likely going to have to just lightly press down, fill it up, do your thing, and then
Yeah.
now I will go over the water heater in here a little bit, as much as I can. I'm going to forewarn you though, it's probably going to throw an error code. And the reason it's going to throw an error code is because we don't have any propane in it right now.
Oh,
But I at least want to show you how it kind of works so that you can visually see it. So right now, this is pretty much off. I can set the temperature changing just these up and down arrows here. I believe 100 degrees is the lowest, 124 is going to be the highest.
okay.
This little button with the green light that says C/F, if I hit that, it changes it to Celsius.
Oh, okay.
If you hit it again, it goes back to Fahrenheit. Now, when I open this hotline, you see this shower head start to turn on, and you'll see this little fan. You know that it's lit once you see a little flame in the middle here. Once you see a little flame, that lets you know, hey, my water heater lit. You'll start to see this temperature start to rise. It's going to throw an E1 code because we don't have any propane. If by chance, you know, let's say you guys have stored this unit for a month or two, you know, the propane's been off, you just turned it back on. Let's say even though you started the stovetop and you came in here and you turned this on and it threw an E1 code. Just shut the water off real quick, wait 10 seconds, flip it back on, it'll reset itself.
Okay.
Pretty common, not gonna lie, but I personally love them because in 10 seconds you're gonna have hot water at this faucet. And then, as you can see, just by me shutting this off, that goes off now.
Right.
So, you know, if you were to turn the kitchen faucet on, you would actually see this light up and go through its whole process of shower head fan, and then you would see the little flame icon to let you know.
Now is this 110 for you have to be hooked up?
For, you talking about the water heater?
This.
Or for this, yes. Yep, 110, this would have to be hooked up to shore power because this doesn't have the little inverted outlet.
And that's a switch
or
for
do.
the light in here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you do have a little exhaust fan in here, so you can open that and then just press that little black button
Oh, wow.
and kind of help vent all your hot air or whatnot.
That's too cool. Oh
It gets pretty
my
steamy in here with these
word.
showers.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it does.
And then of course you have your little latch right up here to hold the door in place while you're in
Right.
travel. And then it just magnetizes. So I don't know if you got, you know, kids that run around
No.
or whatnot.
Okay.
None. No kids, no dogs, no
I
pets.
always recommend to people putting a strap right here. I'm like, you never know who's just gonna grab that door, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anything in there? Everything?
You talking about here?
Nope, in the bedroom. Pretty much not.
What's this?
Yeah, it's pretty-
This is a
pretty-
light. Oh, that's for.
Yep, you got your light switch on the wall there.
Oh, I want to put a TV here. How hard is that to do? A mount.
Pretty easy. Wow, I'm surprised they didn't put a sticker here.
Would you guys
So-
put that mount in for me?
We could. So you're gonna want it to be right about in this area
Yeah.
here.
And I've got a smart TV that I want to put in.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I could
it's not
probably.
very big. maybe 32-inch.
And that's the cable and the.
And the one thing that you want to keep in mind is this slide room is going to come in until it pretty much touches this mattress. So
Okay.
whenever the TV goes up, you just want to make sure that the corner of the TV is either flush or past,
Yeah.
so that it,
Okay.
All right. You think that printer's gonna fit there, Laura?
It might, but there's no one. Oh, it's Wi-Fi.
and it is an inverted outlet up here, and then
Yeah, but it needs
both those are also inverted as well.
110.
Yep.
Is there 110 over here?
Right
Just
there.
the.
Right up
behind it.
here.
Oh, so I can bring that. No, that probably wouldn't be a good
And then
idea.
there's one right.
Yeah, that's
there.
probably one
Right
over there. Okay,
Maybe.
we'll see. Oh, the printer would fit right in
No,
there.
it will not.
Sure it will.
No one.
I think it will. I'll bet you.
No one.
Oh, it's not as big as I thought it was. There we go. Hey, you want to lay down on this mattress for a minute, Lauren? Oh, that's not so bad. We're going to get a pillow top for it.
Yeah. So just so I don't forget, got all the trims, got all the equipment outside, shower doors in there. I know I'm missing one. We just talked about it.
Shower, trim,
Oh,
all the cover.
But I'm going to get with Milton and make sure. I'm going to get with Milton and make sure he knows what I need. No, the other stuff is important.
Huh?
The other stuff's important too.
And the trim.
okay.
There was
Yep.
just, I think it was this one, that one, and just that.
Yeah.
All right.
And
That
then
should be easy enough.
and he said there's a filter, like an air filter.
There are. So essentially, you take like a flathead, and you see this right here.
Uh-huh.
So you would flip those. This would actually come down, and if you look up there, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see the white outline
Yeah.
of the filter, and it's almost just like a house filter.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, you'll probably have to special order it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably not something you're gonna find at like Publix in your
Right.
house.
Can you clean 'em?
section. What was that?
Could you clean them?
No. So it's just they're literally so a lot of the RVs dating from 2015 to 2022 2023 had washable filters, and then they started with these new AC types that come with like almost like a house filter. So it's like a paper filter with like a metal mesh backing almost. So yeah, there's really no
You
way
guys
to.
sell them, or you're not sure? You're not
I haven't
gonna say?
seen them in our store yet.
Okay.
To be honest, they're so new that I haven't seen us carrying them in our store. But I'm sure our parts department could probably order them in. They're so new that I haven't even replaced them on used units yet.
Oh, wow.
Because typically if someone like let's say you were buying this unit and trading in your old one, and let's just say that I worked on this unit, I would probably be the one to work on your trade-in. And me personally, I like to put new filters in all of my used units, like water filters, AC filters. I mean, the last thing I want someone to do is buy a used unit and look down and say, oh, that's filter. I mean, who wants that? So, but I haven't run into these yet. I'm sure in the next year and a half I will. Someone will want to trade out their 23 for a 26 or 25, whatever that may be.
Well, I can feel the vibration.
Yeah, I'll sit in these things as I'm prepping them, and I'll sit down and just it's hard to get out of those things.
And how do you put the chair up?
You're talking about the
Oh, it's down there.
yeah, it's kind of hard to,
Just pull it.
but it's a little black kind of handle. It's kind of hard to see.
Didn't go back in the car.
It should a little bit, I would think. They are a little.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
it
that's
takes a
nice.
little.
You can lay back in that.
It almost takes me putting my foot here and kind of doing a.
Oh, they do go back pretty far.
Yeah, they do.
I'll be asleep in my car. Here we go.
Huh. Well, I get the remote.
You always have the remote.
Cool. All right.